Niaje, 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 niaje. Mi natafuta fans marafiki ambao watani join this Sunday, tuweze chat, kuhanga, kuna questions wa ask ni yepi, Karibu sana to another Sanaa Sunday session on this 4th day of June 2023 at 11:57 p.m. This is one of those ones zile tunaanza siku ikikaribia kuisha, or rather depending on your perspective and your viewpoint, siku ingine ikikaribia kuanza. Glass ni half full ama ni half empty, unaiview kutoka upande upi? This is one of those days. Karibu sana to another session. Natumai hali ni njema upande wako. Kuna mtu mmoja, jitambulishe, niambie that upo hapa, like the video, fanya hizo vitu zote za maana na za kusaidia channel kugrow. As you can see from the video title, hii ni the 100th Sanaa kwa Sanaa Sunday session that tunafanya. Hiyo ni maudhui tosha, hata kama sina maudhui, but hiyo ni maudhui tosha. YouTube hours. Our dear Wambui ametokea na yuko hapa nami. Shukran sana Wambo, asante for liking the video. Alikuwa VIP wiki iliyopita, alikuwa nami, alikuwa my audience mwenye ali hang around na mimi, alichill hadi tukamaliza, na leo ametokea mtu wa kwanza. Easy time. In a few itakuwa Monday, in a minute itakuwa Monday, but kuna watu Monday yao itaanza in the next 5 or so hours. Watu wenye usema as long as kuna giza bado ni the previous day. Perspective. Naona kuna watu wawili mwenye ameungana nasi pia ame like the video vile inafaa. Asante sana, vile inafaa kufanya vitu vya umuhimu. Hakuna a particular direction for this commemoration of 100 Sanaa kwa Sanaa Sunday sessions, na nimekuwa na a lot of celebrations lately. Freestyle Friday, 100 editions, and then 2 years. Mziki ya wiki 2.0, 50 weeks. Tomorrow or today shafika 52 weeks. Here tunaingia leo 100 sessions in a month, 4 weeks itakuwa 2 years of doing this. Sheesh. In July, August, in 2 to 3 months itakuwa 2 years of Sanaa kwa Sanaa. Itakuwa 3 years of Sanaa kwa Sanaa on YouTube. Massive. Tunaweza fanya some reflections. The second person mwenye ako hapa, jitambulishe, let us know that uko nasi. Imekuwa mtu mmoja, so I'm assuming umebaki na Wambo peke yake. Mara ingine, or if Wambo ameishia, maybe ni the other person mwenye ametujoin ni Babu. Here we go. Kumbe ni Babu ametupata leo. Karibu sana human, karibu sana. I'm here to ask for a rant on Instagram, please. Acha kwanza nione my settings za chat zinakaaje, ndio ni view hizi messages za kurapen hapo. Hizi buttons manze, hizi buttons changanya. There we go, isipotee. Kwa mara nyingine chatucheki, niko najaribu kuangalia settings za chat. Yes, there we go. So juu niko na two important human beings here, Wambo na Babo, wenye pia walikuwa nami nikisherehekea wiki 104 za Freestyle Friday, miaka miwili ya Freestyle Friday. Babo amekuwa here longer for his Sunday sessions, amekuwa na sisi on Instagram in the wee hours of the morning mara milioni, na ametujoin sana, na yeye ni OG kwa hizi Sunday sessions. Then Wambo has been here for hizi YouTube sessions kadhaa, na for Instagram pia alipata kadhaa. So tunaweza fanya a reflection as we think about Sunday sessions, what they've meant to you, what they are to you. Iwapo uko na some sessions that you recall, you can share them. If you have moments that you recall, you can share them. Conversations that you found interesting, you can share them. Hata kama hukuziwatch live and you indulged later after the session, kama ilikuwa immediately, na maybe ilikuwa on a Sunday morning as you're watching it, or a Monday morning, or during the week, or a month later. We've had a lot of sessions, tumediscuss vitu vingi sana, nimeongea na nikiongea na Babu this past week, nilikuwa na mshow, nimeongea sana, niko na hours and hours and hours of speaking and talking and talking and talking, a lot of hours. We've discussed so many things. So out of those many things, kama uko na a moment, a memory, a conversation, a debate, a comment that you remember, maybe kulikuwa na a hater kwa comment because you were haters and someone said something about someone or something, anything, everything goes, unaweza share nasi. We'll also do this recollection for our 2-year anniversary obviously, so hii ni kama a preface to that and inaongoza vile the conversation would go. Pia kama kuna questions, hizi sessions zimekuwa easy na zimekuwa laid back and chill sessions. Kama pia kuna maswali, that can be the case regarding Sunday sessions, but we are here and this marks our 100th session that tumefanya hizi lives for. Tukianzia Instagram and then here we are on YouTube, our home at the moment. So wiki iliyopita ilikuwa session ya kutulia na kuchill. Kama ulikuwa nasi as Wambo was, unajua vile the session ilikuwa. Tulikuwa na Don here Karochu, but akatoka mapema. Alikuwa question kuhusu freestyling, haku clarify, alikuwa ameishia. Nikabaki na my audience member mwenye alikuwa Wambo at the time, but ilikuwa generally a chilling sesh, kukuja kurelax na kukaa and just hang out with people before nijoiniwe as the session continued na flow flani earlier, but after Wambo, Nyanchama came through and also Hazel, na kama kawaida inakuanga amazing sana kuona my people here and where we just sit and chill and commune. I absolutely love that. So that was the session. Tuliongelea return ya Samosa Festival and the sessions that they've had since they returned. Walikuwa responsible for Poets You Should Know in partnership na Creative Spills, and they did that for a while, then COVID ika happen. So wamekuwa na 2 sessions I believe since their return. And hapa na hesabu ya Fuse Sule yenye Mosoti ali fill info cause Sule hakushow up Fuse. Then kukawa na performance ya wiki iliyopita ya Jazia na zina happen hapo Nairobi Museum, where Poets Should Know ilikuwa ina happen but venue tofauti. For Poets Should Know ilikuwa hapo open field, open space. For this ones, hizi za Samosa Festival zinafanyika at the Luiliki Auditorium. After that nikaongelea reviewing 50 songs for mziki ya wiki 2.0. Nikasema how my first response and my reaction during the recording of that video and while editing and while prepping for that review nilikuwa najiambia never again. Still is the attitude and the position, never again. But as I said kwa hiyo video, vile brain yangu huwork inakuanga na hizi moments za ufala za kudai kujichocha na kuenda further, and Babu and Itabuka were discussing this after our 2-year anniversary celebration ya Freestyle Friday, kwa sababu akili yangu itadai kusema how much further can you go, unaweza push zaidi at this point. And so I even said this last week, kuna hiyo thought ya when you get to 100 weeks could you do 100 songs? Who am I proving anything to? Nini mbaya na mimi? Why did I even do 50 songs? No one is doing this. No one will ever do this. Why am I doing this? Vile nilisema during our freestyle session, kuna records nyingi sana that nimeset. Nyingi sana that nimeset. If people care to do some research into the field of music criticism, music reviewing, kuna a lot that nimefanya that ni records na ni vitu historic. So that is my brain kujaribu kuniambia ukifika so moja, ngoma so moja si unaweza fanya. John, I know I will go insane. 50 what? Hey, nilio, yo, that was insane. And but akili yangu ni akili yangu. After sharing that experience, nikaongelea the return of our Sunday sessions playlists, which Atababo ametaja kwa comment yake, and that is something that nimekuwa nikifikiria kuzirudisha for some time, na tukaifanya 2 weeks prior to last week I believe, or 3 for Mother's Day. I believe ilikuwa the same weekend that Amina alikuwa na show yake, and then tukaifanya wiki iliyopita tulikuwa na a compilation. And Babo, sijui kama ulicheki hiyo video, but we created a playlist last week and tulikuachia space for your song recommendations. So if you watch our last week's live utapata nafasi ya recommendations zako when you get to the end of the video, and also pia ukicheck the comment section utapata that. So ukipata muda feel free kuicheki na utupatie your recommendations as well for that one. For today tuna combine, as we usually do, Kenyan and the rest of the continent and the rest of Africans in the continent, in the diaspora. This has been an interesting discussion point because of Babu here kutusuggestia some time back ngoma ya Chronics. Nyanchama pia yuliza a question kwa the comment section last week, cause alikuja kama tushapita hiyo point ya hiyo discussion. So Babu pia ukicheck hiyo video, I left that question to you. Kuna swali fulani Nyanchama aliuliza, hiyo ni wewe utajibu ukitupatia your recommendations for last week. And then for today sasa ni Kenya and the rest of the continent. Leo ni one of those combination playlists where unaweza tupatia either, any, both, vile tu una feel, and we shall create a playlist from this Sunday session. And that was our conversation, the return of hizi playlists. And after that kulikuwa na mziki ya wiki 2.051, which as I mentioned kwa hiyo video haikukuwa as death inducing as the previous video, which ilikuwa freestyle Sunday session 50, mziki ya wiki 2.050, because that one was something else. Mziki ya wiki 2.051 ilikuwa easy smooth sailing after what I did and the mountain I climbed for the previous edition. Hii ilikuwa easy as cake, as they say. So Babu anasema my fave was last year last year's MWE, it was so healing. Oh, last year, not this year, last year. Pia tunafaa kufanya a discussion for this year. So, let's see. I'm having an idea, and this is how hizi sessions zinaendanga tukiwa hapa, zinakwanga spontaneous. So, I'm having two ideas, Babu. Hear me out. The first idea ni, will it be on the 19th? Actually, itakuwa on the 18th. So sijui kama utakuwa able to do so, because your show is on a Sunday, the 18th, and maybe mtakuwa overwhelmed after writing the show, practicing, rehearsing, performing, and then talking to people after the show and the experience of the show. So sijui kama utakuwa in a position to that day of. I am uncertain. However, my idea was initially, if the show ingekuwa Saturday but it's on a Sunday, that Sunday we have a discussion about the show, and then the following week or 2 weeks after tukuwe na a recap of your MWE experience. Sijui if we can merge the two. I think we can, whereby after 18th, the following week, if you can do it that night, mi niko sawa, mi sina issue. If we can do it after the show, but najua inaweza kuwa intense, so just so tukuwa hiyo space na hiyo grace, we can do it the following week pia, as we've also taken time to reflect. If that is something you're in for, please give me the info, then tunaweza ifanya hiyo wiki inayofuata. So tuchukue 2 hours. First hour tuongelee your MWE experience, and tujiambie ni 2 hours or even less, because we know we can talk for hours. We were joking about this na Babu the other day, because tuliongelea Kendrick Lamar for 3 hours, tukiongelea our reactions to the album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. So tunaweza fanya a 2-hour session where part 1 ni MWE experience yako ya this year, because we've not had that conversation yet. Then after that tuongele the show for the remaining hour. So Babu, ni wewe utaniambia if you are down for that. You shall let me know. Vile utafeel. And hizi ideas zinakujanga hivi spontaneously while we are doing hizi sessions, which is one thing that I appreciate about hizi Sunday sessions. Ideas inakujanga and we execute them. Idea ya having playlists, that became a thing that we did na zimerudi. Idea ya even hosting people and having easy conversations, that in itself, and having Robbie joining us for the first one randomly, that's how inakuanga, ni ideas, spontaneity, let's go. So we just had a thought process right there that nime express. So ilikuwa my fave was last year's MWE, which is the music writer exercise, listening to a project you've not listened to before each day of February and writing a tweet about it. It was so healing. I looked forward to it a lot. My best segment was or is the song suggestion part, and Babu alirant about this after our Freestyle Friday session. Kiliambia, ai, African, did you stop asking us to recommend songs? Alikuwa nadhani alikuwa nadhani hakuwa anasikia hizo parts kwa hizi videos. Something else pia that nita correct, nilisema last week that tuliziachia at Sunday sessions playlist 35. As a matter of fact, tuliachia the end of October, so we had until 38 ni vile siku zi updatingi, siku zi creatingi. 35 ilikuwa the last one that nilishare publicly na nika update kwa the digital streaming platforms. Ilikuwa our conversation na Tra, na the playlist ili come from yeye and myself. Then we had 3 more after that, but siku zi share na siku zi create. Then we did the one that tulipata a song from Hazel, and then we had last week. So this ya leo inafaa kukuwa the 40th or the 41st. So I love and loved the idea of suggesting things live. This is what I was referring to earlier. Like, you know, I couldn't even suggest forward. I love participating now. So today I'm so happy to be here. Which, referring to your previous comment, which rant was this? Because I am here to ask for a rant on Instagram, please. The Jam show was interesting. So the Jam was happening on Friday at the Goethe Institute. Ilikuwa na Costa, Ojwang, Big Pin, and DJ. I've forgotten the name. Babu, nikumbushe the name of the DJ who was also part of the lineup. But kulikuwa na show ya the Jam. Previously zilikuwa zinaitwa Nairobi Jam, but zilikuwa zina happen bado papo hapo at the Goethe Institute. Zilikuwa kwa auditorium. From a snippet of a clip I saw Babu share, zina happen uko kwa the terrace. Not even the terrace. In terrace kweli, terrace ni uko juu. Kwa the parking lot. Kwa the park. So zilikuwa zina happening at the auditorium. I went for a number of those sessions, and Babu ndiye alikuwa mtu wa mwisho kuperform kwa the last Nairobi Jam, and then COVID ika happen. Hiyo ilikuwa March kianza hivi walikuwa na show, and then COVID ika come through, ikamua stop everything, stop. The world needs to stop. It needs to meditate, it needs to reflect, it needs to reset. Stop. It's an overhaul, people. But walikuwa na a performance huko. After that, since Gute walikuwa wanafanya refurbishments zao, zilikuwa zina happen at the Kuona Arts Collective. I believe that's then confusing nikifikiria Kwani Kuona Arts Collective, Kuona Artists, but ilikuwa happen at Kuona, and wamekuwa na number of sessions huko. Nimeattend maybe two of them ya Mutoria, Watendawili, and DJ who was playing that day. Ilikuwa Kaushes. Then kulikuwa na Jumadi, Aching. Haikuwa Aching. Jumadi, Ima na Umoja Sounds. And then there's one more. I am confusing. Ima ilikuwa the same day na there was Watendawili, Mutori, and Pru. Yes. Then Ima, Jumadi, Umoja Sounds. Yes. My mind. If I'm wrong, blame akili yangu. Nyanchama, karibu sana. So good to see you. Iyo furaha ile Babu ako nayo kuandika hi na eyes kama 12, na hizo emojis 3 zinafuata ni the same excitement and love that I feel in your presence. Nasema happy 100th, my good man. Thank you, Nyanchama. Thank you. It's a blessing kuona hapa. So zilifanyika kadhaa huko, and then sahi zimerudi as we are seeing. I feel the previous one was also there because kulikuwa na Metal Page na Sanaa Pay. So that was the jam that really happened on Friday. Walificha na DJ Dida, was the DJ nilikuwa nasahau jina lake, so Big Pin, Costa na Dida. Sijui what Babo wants to rant about. Hiyo Friday kulikuwa na shows mbili at the mall basement. Kulikuwa na show at museum Afro Jazz ya Riki na Marafiki na yes, nakumbuka hiyo Sanaa ipenyo nilikuwa nasema, najua ilikuwa hapo si auditorium, hapo Gute kwa parking lot. So kulikuwa na show Nairobi Museum, Zaitunya alikuwa na perform na Riki na Marafiki. Sijui kama kulikuwa na any acts. Kulikuwa na Nairobi Jam, the Jam rather as now inaitwa, na kulikuwa na a discussion, a Jadili session katasi ya Santuri kuhusu Gengetone, the good, the fad and the ugali. Very interesting conversations kuhusu Gengetone. Very interesting conversations, and ilinipatia hiyo feeling ya there is still so much to unpack kuhusu Gengetone. In 2019 kulikuwa na a lot of think pieces on Gengetone. I do not think kuna another Kenyan genre that imepata that much coverage in terms of that. Nikifikiria of musical genres, Gengetone, but also kuna Kenyan hip hop, because Kenyan hip hop iko na a lot of think pieces, and Kenyan hip hop, not what is there currently as the predominant genre, which ni drill na trap inspired production, but mostly drill. But the uko flani Mau Mau, Kalamashaka, Mashifta movement and that hip hop from that era and from those artists imepata a lot of coverage kithink pieces na academically. Gengetone imepata pia a lot of that attention, and ilikuwa a musical shift, ilikuwa a renaissance moment kwa the Kenyan music scene na industry na pia East Africa. And ni fascinating because ilikuja from people who were very young but wali turn the industry on its head, and a lot was written, a lot was thought, a lot was debated. And your conversation at Santuri on Friday still ilionyesha kuna so much more ku unpack regarding the genre na implications zile ilikuwa nazo. Kuna so much to unpack still, hadi kanipatia a perspective and a thought ya kuandika an article kuhusu hizi elements and angles that you can still approach Gengetone from and with. But I am a lazy person. Hi, Babu. So, kwanza I have a gangster rap video essay to work on yenye nafaa kuifanya na Anyango, who was here 2 weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks back. So I have that to think about. I want that to be my first video essay, but it might not end up being so because of how bulky and demanding it is. Hiyo ni video nikifikiria, I'm thinking itakuwa 20 to 30 minutes long and or more. Ni one of those concepts and ideas that you have to tease out. And then pia because itakuwa na so many angles that I'm pulling from and spheres that I'm bringing together, itakuwa very wide na ita tie into a lot of things. So that will be an intense undertaking na demanding. But kuna other ideas as well as video essays that I know I have and naweza fanya kwanza before that one. So, and I want to do video essays. And I have Nyanchama here, I have Babo here, our brains are these two human beings here, and Wambui pia was here. Brains are these people. Hapa kuna a lot of video essays that we can get from these human beings. So if you're watching this and you want to see this come to fruition, kwa comment section just say yes, 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 yes Babu, give us that video essay in partnership with Sanaa kwa Sana and African. Yes Nyanchama, give us that video essay. Yes Wambui Karori, give us that essay. Give us your thoughts. These are people wenye tunaweza pata a lot of perspectives from. So nimekuambia mapema, so uanze kujipanga na thoughts na thoughts na ideas. And we're also supposed to do a book thing, whatever that thing is, with Babu in charge. So kuna ideas kibao sana, but there is that. So nilikuwa nafikiria kuna so much still tunaweza unpack from Gengetone, just based on that conversation alone, na kusikia perspectives za watu na what Gengetone ilimaanisha, what ilifanya, how wali interact with the genre in that musical movement, if me listening to the songs and feeling what the fuck is this, or listening to the music and vibing to the music, loving the music, not understanding the music kwa sababu ya the lyrics na sharing na the language, kuongelea how inclusive and or exclusive the genre is, and hizo discussions and debates surrounding that, kuongelea the sound, matters of definition as well. And Raf the moderator alikuwa anakumbusha watu, you're not here to define Gengetone, you're not here to answer questions. So ilikuwa na angles nyingi sana, and alianza na kuplay excerpts za watu wakiongea kuhusu Gengetone, and one of them alikuwa kama Ishaka mwenye alikuwa nafaa kukuwa part of the panel na share sentiments zake kuhusu Gengetone. Na the main sentiment na summary ya kile alikuwa anasema ni akisikia hawa wasee wenye wako 14, akisikia hawa wasee, akisikia these kids, and then ana feel hawana content, the retort anaambiwa ni these are just kids, and then retort yake to that ni that sisi tukiwa 14 tulikuwa na content. Ukisikia mziki ya Keishaka una get the sentiment, and so kuna vile that sentiment ilikuwa responded to with people then also peer perspectives are rough regarding the same now what the music is, and could note that in a stem from a similar framework and from a similar place in terms of rebelliousness, but also in terms of responding to the system and what the system is and does, and how Keishaka will respond to the system differently, could feel one as a solve the problems of the system, and sharing that, and watu wa Gengetone kukuwa na an attitude na a stance ya resignation na saying fuck it, tujibambe, to enjoy. Kulikuwa na hiyo view, then kulikuwa na the musicality aspect of it from Sense, who alikuwa pia amedirect the conversation na alikuwa ameipanga akiangalia the sonic approach na aspect of the genre na vile anaicreate na view zake regarding lyrics and how lyrics who, what's the term alitumia, sijui kama ni kuspoil the vibe ukiweka lyrics onto something, hakutumia spoil, kwa term alitumia, then kuangalia vile anafeel inaweza kuwa inclusive, na akisema we are in the future of Gengetone, and kuna Genge next as a term that imekuwa coined for the sort of next stage, next phase for Gengetone. Rafiki akisema alicreate a rendition ya new position ya ethic, and how akiandika ali have to tap into something else ndani yake na kuenda into spaces kwa brain yake that tap into a different energy, ili anafaa kubring na atap into na express akicreate this Gengetone song. So kulikuwa na views kibao, also vile COVID ili play a role kama ni in elevating it or keeping it and taking it to a decline. Kulikuwa na a lot of perspectives regarding the genre and conversations kuhusu Gengetone. as well. Kulikuwa of course pia na the crude nature of the lyrics, the vulgarity, and more perspectives also regarding the same. I would love to hear Babu na Nyanchama kile mnawaza and how you view Gengetone as of now and where it is, its position, its role, its space, and how you interact na Gengetone at this point in time. How do you interact with Gengetone? What are your views regarding Gengetone and anything else regarding Gengetone as of now from vile unaicheki? I am so curious about Gengetone in this conversation. Was it documented? Nyanchama nauliza. I believe so. Hizi sessions zao, I believe they are documented. I will however confirm that. I will ask Furaha Kamali document. Why are they recording it? I believe so, but ndakukonfirmia. As well as the previous Jadili sessions as well. Na kitu moja walisema ni just based on how the discussion ili play out, wanapanga kufanya more of easy conversations on Gengetone. Jadili sessions zina happeningi, but they said they are looking forward and planning kufanya more because walianza maybe 7:30 or even past then, ilikuwa inza 6:30 mpaka 8, so walianza late and then they had to rush the conversation then waende wa set up because walikuwa na performance afterwards at the Mist. At the same time na hiyo jioni bado kulikuwa na a perform incubator listening party. So perFORM ni an incubator program where wanna train industry professionals, music industry professionals, from artist managers to event producers to musicians to producers, music producers to publicists. So wako kwa their second phase, walianza 2019, then the other one walianza 2021. So bado wako kwa hiyo phase ya pili, and they had people representing the different professionals wenye wana train, from head of artists to PR and communications to event producers and the people wenye wana train as of now. And then wako na artists wenye they are working with and wako about to release music now. So currently ni MDQ, Mayonde na Polaris. I have talked about Polaris here before. Alikuwa kwa performance flani ilikuwa happen at the mall rooftop. That was in March or early April. Yeah, Sound Sisters alikuwa na perform huko. Pia aliperform last year November kwa gig ya Gig Dynamics Unplugged, ilikuwa yeye, Fadhili na Fancy Fingers. And then for Mayonde nimereview debut project yake Magic in the Air ya 2015, for MWE last year, and for MDQ nimemreview on the blog ngoma zake mbili za She, nilikuwa namtafuta for a conversation and then pia tumereview River project yake ya 2021. So currently hao ndio wasanii wenye wana create under that and they are supposed to start releasing music hivi karibuni. So walikuwa wana premiere songs that the three will be releasing from 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. So not this coming Friday, but the next one. So wali play 4 songs after kuplay some games which niliingia nikipata zikiendelea after kutoka my Gengetone conversation. After that watu walikuwa wanapatiwa papers with numbers written on, and then the host angesoma a number and then you had to line up and create that number in a queue hapo kando ya stage. So after that kuna mtu aliongea kutuambia kuhusu what perFORM is about, and then I can introduce the team and the people you want to train under the team heads, then to get into the music and listening to the songs. So waliplay ngoma 4, kuna single ya Polaris, and then kulikuwa na I think 2 songs by the 3 of them, Polaris, Muthoni na Mayonde, and then the last song was Muthoni, Blinky na Dili. Was Misiox as well on that one? But that is how the show ilikuwa. The first song is called Walai, the second one is called Raha. Sijui kama Raha is the one that's coming out. I don't think so. I think the third song is the one that's coming out, which nimesahau the title, and then the last song was Bazu. So what I noted from those actually ni Muthoni ameingia kwa what I would say ni kama her Gengetone phase na her club banger, club music driven era, from the way the songs zili sound, and we can revisit this in the next 2 weeks once that main song imetoka, or even those other songs. Na walisema wanazi-space out wakianza in between 3 or 4 weeks, and then after that zitakuwa kituka 2 weeks or even weekly. And they've said that kuna a label called Hot Songs in Kenya, HSKE, Hot Songs in Kenya, Hot Songs Kenya. Wali announce na wali share publicly on Friday for the first time. Ilikuwa bado tu hapo hivyo at the mall uko chini kwa basement, na walisema that itakuwa the idea, kuchan out songs, kaende itakuwa hit song mbele, and they'll do that back to back. Hii ni a strategy that artists wametumia, where you throw music into the scene and populate the market and see how that turns out. But the idea for them, hivyo ndivyo walisema watakuona hii approach na hiyo tu kushare na kurelease music. And pia another thing that nilinote with Easy Sounds ile MDQ ameingilia ni kuona how different it is from previous works zake. I'd be curious to understand the direction musically, why hizo sounds, and also kuangalia how ita play out, kwa sababu hizo songs zimefanywa na Dili, and MDQ amekuwa akiwork na GR na Hook for a decade plus, so kuna this new direction kufikiria vile itakuwa, and why this new direction. Ni vitu ningependa ku learn more toka kwake, nisikie views zake regarding the same, na kuona okay, this is where you are choosing to go now. Sijui kama that is a plan to dominate and re-enter the Kenyan market and the Kenyan scene in a big way, na more accessible sounds. Sijui if that is the case, and then sort of explore that and after export that outside. Hizi tu ni speculations zile niko nazo na some thoughts na ideas hapa na pale, but those were the 2 events zilizofanyika huko. And here we are for our 100th Sunday session. So as I catch up, kuna comments sikuwa nimesoma. Nikisha idea yangu ya babu alikuwa amesema that sounds so amazing, the margin, that night sounds like an African stamina type of thing. And babe, so we can do it the next week of 25th. Babu anataka kuwa amesave energy yake for a week. Ni sawa, mimi sina issue. That is perfectly fine with I and I. Hivyo ndivyo itakuwa. No pressure, no pressure. Tutaongelea MWE na tutaongelea show Rainbow Bracelets in the Dirt. Get your tickets, tafadhali. Get your tickets for that show. Check out Rainbow Bracelets in the Dirt on Instagram. party tickets, check out the Bambies, party tickets, something that you should definitely go and check out. Happy 100th, my good man. Nilikuwa nimeisoma. Then Costa's back should hurt because of how much he carried the entire show. Nilikuwa nimecheki comment earlier. Trust Babu. Actually, this makes sense. Juu sikuwa hata nimefikiria until I think a few moments as I was discussing this, or ilikuwa before nikuja on, nilikuwa nafikiria on Friday as I was leaving the mall, kina Big Pin walikuwa wanaingia. I think alikuwa na Mayonde and someone else. Mayonde was supposed to be there during your listening session but hakuwa. And I think either during this session nikiongea kuhusu the show or just before nikuja on, ndio ilini hit by the way alikuwa na show at Gute ile alikuwa ana perform, and this is the response here from Babu. Sijui kama Okelo Max alitokea. Babu, you wanted to see Okelo. I wanted to talk to Costa nimwambie kuna a request from someone who is coming to the show. Unaweza pata mwenzako Okelo Max, muimbe na yeye muimbe na yeye Hera. Tan, tanan, 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 tanan. So sijui kama alikuja Babu. If not, then I should have made the text. Niambia Costa, yo. Bu, unaweza pata Okelo atoke. Niliwatch Costa the week before at Nakili Sessions, and I talked about how amazing the experience was, and Costa is an experience live. For sure. I even expressed my surprise that so many people walikuwa wameshow up and they were singing along. Sijui kama that was the experience as well, Babu. Also, someone can go live with someone on YouTube. If you want to rant, you can ask, but sijui how that would work here. I think ningeifanya before. Yes, Nyanchama, the show ina happen on the 18th. It is the show, rather, to respond to your question. Okay, sijui kama that's the one Babu aliongelea, but Param, param, param. Param, param, param. Param, param, param. Watu wenye wako hapo wameavoid history ya Gengetone wote. Wameavoid. So Babu anaanza na kusema my view on Gengetone has had to grow a lot. My opinions were very elitist and classist, so I had to sit in silence and just interrogate my bias. Currently, like all genres, there are some I like. Treading carefully. And then mwenzake Nyanchama anasema I really enjoy Gengetone, but I have a few qualms about it for a few reasons. Lakini I don't feel like it's my place to have thoughts on it or want more from it, so I just enjoy the music and go. Very safe. But I'm really interested in listening to more discussions on the genre, especially from the creators. Definitely. I've just had an idea of, because one, it's something that Raf Ali mentioned, and I would think the same as well, and I was thinking about the same as well, ni ku learn about the etymology of the word Gengetone. And nilikuwa nafikiria of how that research would look like, na ku revisit articles, kuona where it started from, kwenda kwa YouTube comment section, kuona where it started from, kwenda kwa interviews, kuona, just trying to discover where it came from. And then kuitrace hadi place ile imefika, and where it is and where it stands, but kuangalia the root of it all na kujaribu kuona kule ilitoka na kule ilianza. Juu genres zikikujanga kuna kuanga na critics who place terms on genres. Sometimes kuna kuanga na the musicians who create terms for genres, for instance changanya na balayo. So there is that. So to understand Gengetone and where it was that ilitoka na kuona the history of the same would be a fascinating examination na interrogation. Something that nilikuwa nafikiria, and also pia Rafa alisema it would be interesting kujua the etymology of the word. Hata kabla iseme nilikuwa nafikiria, when was Gengetone first a thing as a term? I'm very curious about that. But kile nilikuwa na mention kuhusu comment ya Nyanchama akisema ako interested kusikia discussions on the genre, sana sana from the creators, imenipatia an idea which will take time of looking at the songs that defined the genre, and then kuangalia the interviews za hao wasanii at the time and articles written at the time, and then kuangalia the producers of the music at the time, and combining all of this na ku create a piece. I'm thinking mostly video of what they say the genre Gengetone is and what they say about it. So nika a compilation video of what a producer alisema, what an artist alisema, what it represents, and generally itusaidie ku understand the philosophy of the genre. Imeni hit as an idea, so just compiling that. Kuona interview ya Ethic at this point wakitoa ngoma, walisemaje kuhusu the genre, kuhusu responses za watu and their reactions and their sentiments, everything. And pia kulikuwa na a time, kulikuwa na a lot of, not kama ilikuwa a lot, but moments where some videos had to be pulled down because of what walikuwa wana rap about na vitu walikuwa wanasema. Then kulikuwa na hiyo backlash pia from listeners. So kulikuwa na so much. So taking all of this into account na ku create a compilation of thoughts, of reactions, of views from what were Gengetone, and making that one huge video and piece would be great to do. If you're watching this, feel free to buy the idea, because I'm lazy. So correspond to swali la Nyanchama, nilikuwa accurate, na pia Babo ameconfirm, amesema yes, it is the show. Then Babu akasema my internet was hanging, so I'm back kidogo. Yeah, so many people showed up and they were there, and they were with Costa all the way. Let's just say Big Ben should have curtains raised for Costa. Costa worked for that show, and even the ethic of meeting his fans and talking to them and the love he shared. That is Costa. If you go to a Costa show, I've gone to 2. Launch album yake Fuen November 24th last year. And then this one really happened at Nakili. That is his spirit kwa show zake, and you experience that show in the full essence of Costa. So kile Babo anasema, I completely see it and feel it hata bila kukuwa hapo for the show. So Costa worked for that show, and even the ethic of meeting his fans and talking to them and the love he shared. The DJ sucked. They were not ready for that show, but Big Pin's just out of it. I can imagine. I hear though that Sanaa did a great job hiyo wiki yenye alikuwa na metal page. I think Bobo, you went for that show, didn't you? But Sanaa performs though. I haven't watched her live, but from clips zile nimeona kiasi, and then Sanaa has been musically active, and so bado amekuwa na hiyo connection na fans wake ukikompare na Big Pin. And so for Big Pin, I'm thinking this would be a nostalgia thing. Akiperform hiyo point ya connection, because watu hawajui as much his current songs. Amekuwa na songs here and there, definitely kwa comeback phase yake, lakini ukicompare na Sanaa, that's a different ball game. And then now you have Costa, who is currently katika njia yake akiclimb na akijiestablish. It's different. So pia I was actually curious to understand the dynamic of mwenye alipanga the show with Costa, Big Pin na Dida. I'm thinking Big Pin na Costa maybe walitumia the Luo as a springboard and as a concept, maybe, because sioni connection ingine, sijui behind the scenes whether they work together or anything, sijui, but I'm thinking, because nilikuwa nafikiria how are they coming together, because that's one thing that Nairobi Jam walikuwa wanafanya. Also pia sidhani wanafanya kazi na Ndech anymore, because ni yeye alikuwa na curatingi na vile alikuwa analeta artists wenye wako related. For example, I believe the first show ever was Fee na Njerai, and then they had Tim Rimbui for the interview, and so they did that. Kulikuwa na Mufasa na Teardrops kwa an interview, then performance ilikuwa Drops na Juliani. Babu had a lot to say about that performance ya Teardrops on that day, but walikuwa na eka watu pamoja in that regard. Kulikuwa na Mbogi Connection at the time, I believe, ama walikuwa rebrand Mbogi Connection bado, na Chief and the Marshals kama niko correct. So the pairing ilikuwa deliberate. Also ukiangalia Watendawili, Mutoria na Pru, kulikuwa na a deliberateness hapo. For Jumadi, Umoja Sounds, not really, but for the first sessions or time walikuwa nazifanya at Gute when ilianza, zilikuwa way more deliberate in the way that walieka the lineup for hizo shows. Hivyo. But na ukicheki Costa kwa show, kwa poster, ukiona Costa kwa poster, I said this pia nikireview hiyo show, because ilikuwa the same week kulikuwa na performance ya Liboy at Cheche. Enda ucheki Costa. So after I shared the idea of the video compilation, Nyanchama amesema your brilliant mind is 1,000 blessings. I'm here constantly going, money, ideas to here and there, ideas here and there. Babu akasema he walked out without any warning. This is in reference to Big pin, big pin. He left his band, BGV, and this girl he brought on stage to sing to. Yeah. He lacks artistry and all the ethics involved. Yeye ni star. Then anasema, I'd love to talk about Gengetone in a place where I can back up my answers. It is the way I knew we had to talk about Kendrick live, not in the comments. So I will talk on it live. Kujitetea tu. Nyanchama, wewe naye, what is your excuse? Ya the safe answer that ulitupatia. And then yes, I went for Sanaa's show. Oh, she was brilliant and she serenaded us so well. Yes, nilisikia show iliweza mbaya sana. And then Big Pin just kept telling us, niliwa miss every 3 seconds. Like, boy, perform. Yeah. uh, uh, so niliuliza kuhusu things that you love about these Sunday sessions. Nyanchama, ukusema yako ilikuwa gani? If you've had moments, conversations, discussions that you've enjoyed from these Sunday sessions, what have they been? I know one of them ni ile review yangu ya Division, before line after image ya Jackie Karuti. I know that's one. Na kuongelea cow zikigraze. My favorite moments zina include hizi rants za Babo kwa comment section. Zinakwanga kibao, or whenever just people share their sentiments regarding the discussion. Na kuna such comments. Love it, absolutely love it. Upate tu maheta, upate Babu, upate Abe, jua hiyo Sunday session. Niliwa miss every 3 seconds, eh? Like, boy, perform. So based on this sentiment, nikiweka in comparison to what Babu amesema kuhusu Costa Ojwang and the excitement that alikuwa nayo and that the audience had in relation to Costa's performance, sijui kama nitakuwa wrong nikisema that it seems during performance ya the headliner kulikuwa na big pin drop silence. Babu pia amesema kile nimesema. I also suspected the Luo beat is what brought them to this point. I think so. I do know, is this a fact? How did I arrive to this fact? That Costa ana work na Anyiko, and Anyiko ni a part of the jam. I am assuming she still is. The ones that zilikuwa zina happen at kuona ni alikuwa anazi curate na alikuwa na host. Sijui kama bado yeye ndio the one doing it, but if that is the case, najua ali make it happen. Then Babu pia confirm that ilikuwa Mbogi na Chief. My small memory here iko sawa, bado niko rada. Nyanchama anasema my favorite part is seeing your face. Why? Thank you for flattering me. I appreciate your sentiment, lovely human. Then he came with an open drink. Yeah, and stuff on stage and ended up kicking it. Nyanchama, he really did a bad job. That is Babu saying. Behavior as a master, behavior as a master, behavior as a master ndio hizi. Aliperform for how long? 30 minutes? And since umesema ilikuwa niseme, since umesema ni alikuwa the last act, but I am assuming the DJ was the last act. My main point, my previous initial point ilikuwa niseme, since umesema ni alikuwa the main act, niko surprised ulika for the entire performance. And sahi, if the DJ is the one who finished the show, I'm even more surprised ulibaki that long. But I know how we get down. We consume things fully ndio tukipatia feedback na our sentiments ni comprehensive because we experience the entire thing. See half-assed na misconstrued in any way, shape or form. So maybe that's why Babu alika for the entire show alisema I have to tell African this. I just have to share this. So let me stay for the entire thing. Ndio sentiments zangu zikuwe za kiukweli na zikuwe halisi. So Nyanchama ni sura yangu tu, ni sura yangu mzuri mama. Shut up for an hour. It's 1:04. So do we have songs to share? Do we have songs to recommend? Tumalize hii session ya our 100th sesh edition. Kuna songs tulipata from Nyanchama kwa our previous session, kwa the video afterwards that nilimwambia we can use them this week, so I have those written down. They will definitely be kwa our playlist for this one. I have 3 songs myself. Babo, if you have any, nilipenda the parameters earlier, Kenyan and African. Nikakwambia pia uko na swali la kujibu kwa the previous video and also songs to recommend. So ukipata time, watch that. Utupatie mangoma na respond to questions. A question rather, or comment section from our lovely Nyanchama. But for today, kama kuna mangoma, Nyanchama, if you have more songs to suggest, pia if you want to give them later, ni sawa. Ni better if you can give them here, but it's okay if you won't. We can share some songs and then to call it a morning. About Gengetone, I'm not trying to be safe, lol. I just feel like I'm too isolated from the culture to speak on it. Like it's not really my place. My own is to shut up and listen. Interesting. Interesting. And that as well is another talking point which ties to what nilikuwa nasema earlier kuhusu its inclusivity or its exclusivity. No pressure, Nyanchama. Anasema your face, the conversations. I mean, sis, the face, the conversations, the beautiful, beautiful community. I can't isolate moments. No pressure. Asante sana for sharing that with us. So kwa comment section ya hiyo video wiki iliyopita, Nyanchama alisuggest songs from Manu Dibango, Oliver Ngoma na Dr. Victor. Myself niko na nyimbo 3 za kusuggest. Kuna a song that I featured kwa mziki ya wiki jana, mziki ya wiki 144 ya Mzengala featuring Masimaira. Kuna a song by Mo Roots na kuna a song by Isa Bagayogo, but it's a remix. Babu hajamaliza. I live for this. Nasema haya. Now let's get to the other parts. His band was excellent. His BGV looked beautiful, sounded like she had candy stuck in her throat. Then he invited an only Rosa who couldn't carry a key. We. Yo. Mm. Babu anasema an only Rosa, who is the only Rosa. I am assuming there's only one. The only Rosa. Angetafuta Stevie Wonder, mwambie yo, uko na so many songs in the key of life. Can I just borrow one? That's what Babu is saying here kuhusu the only Rosa whom tuli review mwaka uliopita debut album yake Rosaland. I mean, we have done it all. Nyanchama anasema I love how absolutely Babu experienced this. Babu ni yule mse. Babu ni yule mse. At least Costa alibeba. Sure. They fought over that key for almost 1 minute. Hey. Kifunguo hakipatikani. So by that count, I think he performed for 15 minutes. About 5 unfinished songs. 15 minutes. Damn. That's what they could afford from him. Aliwaambia dakika ngapi? 15. Aliwaambia how much? Mwezi ndio mnaweza. Hiyo ni a quarter of an hour of unfinished songs. It seems that was the plan. Niambie, where else would you get such a review? Where else? Sanaa kwa sana wenyewe ni ma-OG kwa hii sector. One of one. Then the community members. Hao ni watu only here. So sijui kama Nyanchama kuna any other songs apart from the ones that tulisema wiki iliyopita, na pia Babu as well. Kama kunazo, let me know. If you're watching this later, Wambu kama unaiwatch, Hazel kama unaiwatch, feel free kuadisia hizo mangoma. I have said this before that I know my people. Asante for joining the other person who has joined us. Karibu sana. Fellow nocturnal creature, like the video on your way in to appreciate mbaya. I know my people. I have said this a number of times for our Instagram sessions. I haven't said that actually on YouTube. I know my people. Nilisemaje earlier that Babo was experiencing this, nakisema yo African has to hear and know about this show, and that's exactly kile Babo amesema. Anasema I stayed and even told Bambi African has to know about this. Also, I told her that I was happy I didn't convince you to come. I stayed to make sure I could tell someone about the entire experience. I know my people. Yes, Nyanchama, unaweza ongeza ngoma hata 10 ukitaka. Ukitaka unaweza ongeza hata 10. So ongeza ngoma ingine hapo by Oliver. Ngoma on top of ile alikuwa amesema adia. Hata ametuadia ngoma moja. Sema I feel it's sinful. Bila ya ngoma yenye ameongeza. Amesema ni dhambi. Nafaa kuzisikiza pamoja. So tuko na ngoma 7. Moja ya Manyodi Bango, 2 za Oliver Ngoma, moja ya Dr. Victor, then kuna Mzengala from my selection na recommendation, kuna More Roots na kuna Isa Bagayogo. So Babu alikuwa na count performance of hizo unfinished songs, not the total time ali spend on stage. Nasema he was on stage for like 40 minutes. After ama during moments za kuwa miss, so he was missing us for a lot of those minutes. Babu taki big pin our miss, he was missing us a lot for those minutes, then asking us when I say Pino, you say oh yeah, Pino, oh yeah. When I say Pino, you say oh yeah, Pino, Pino. When I say reliving, reimagining, recreating the jam for Babu here. This also took another time. I love it. So kwa lineup tuko na Cameroon, Gabon, SA, tuko na Kenya, Uganda na Mali. Not the rendition. I have to represent Nyanchama, I have to represent kidogo. Tuna practice kukuwa masuperstar hapa, so before tukuwe masuperstar and then tuanze kupata watu 10 kwa a live stream, watu chwani, watu so unajua, you know, before tufike hapo acha tu practice. So tushafika hapo, tutakuwa tuko ready for that stage. Hatakuwa tunaanza kujifunza when ime happen, but tuna prep in advance. Nanga success ni luck ikimit nini, opportunity and preparation, whatever that statement inakuanga. So I would love, as we finish this, to read something. Nilisema nitasoma from my current read wiki iliyopita. In fact, even the week prior, I hadn't prepared the text, but nime prepared the text today. So for these coming weeks, naweza kuwa nasoma from that book. Also, before nimalize, acha niseme mwanze pia kunitumia invites to hizi shows zenyu na listening parties. Mbehave na mnitumie my invite. Act as if you know who African is, kama vile watu wa perform walifanya. Act as if you know me. Act as if you know African. Act as if you know Sanaa. Thank you. Mimi ni what? Mimi to the Kenyan music scene and the Kenyan art scene ni what Costa was to Nairobi, to the Jam. So recommendations za Babu zime come through, thank you. Kuna Sembo, Max featuring Costa, kuna Man in the Mirror, Lucky Dube, kuna Kamini Wow, Deeper. I don't even know, I don't do this often. It feels good kushare music na suggest mangoma. And then particular feeling, yeah, how it used to be when you used to do this. And then when darkness comes, ya ilikuwa inaina. Shukran sana for the recommendations. So at least Babu may represent for SA na Kenya. Now, let me read and then tutoke hapa. Nyanchama amesema yes, please read to us. I also thought about getting into reading stories. Kwanza after Nyanchama ni choche akisema anaweza lipia reading service na robe yake kwa M-Pesa. But for now hiyo pesa sishaisha. So uko na how much kwa M-Pesa Nyanchama? Can you pay me? Niko na kupatia Patreon exclusives, unasoma tu ma stories. Unasikia sauti yangu. Of course you won't see my face, but if you want to see my face as well nikikusomea, you can also pay for that because the face is something that you are fixated on. I can bless you vile unataka. Mi si mchoyo like that. How much niko na kubless? Sema utakacho. But nilifikiria to get into reading. possibly itakuwa mi kujifunza kukuwa mwalimu, kutrain kukuwa mwalimu, as if 100 Sunday sessions zinitrain na kukuwa mwalimu na kuongelea freestyle kila Friday. Aya, review haijaisha from Babu. Anasema oh, he also had the when I say when I say we go way back, you say way back. When I say we go way back, you say way back. We go way back, way back. We go way back. When I say we go way back, you say way back. He did an ode to Gengetone. Sheesh. Okay. Gengetone. It seems so many things were aligning, which started with I wish Babu angejoin ilive. Tusikie tu iranti yake vizuri. He did an ode to Gengetone which started with nimekuwa honi tangu nikuwe mtoi. If it's a rendition, I believe this is Benzema's line akisema anasemanga nini nimekuwa niki? Anasemanga nimekuwa niki? Is it having sex? Tangu sijui akuwe class 2 ama ni class 6. Najua kupiga tu mateke hadi wagande mguu. We standard 2. Benzema must be class 6. Or could be class 2. Pengine kuna a thing about class 2. But kuna a thing about class 2. Luck is when opportunity meets preparedness. That was the quote. Nilikuwa najaribu kusema earlier. You sip my water and prepare for my reading. Yes, you are. Your back must hurt a lot. Hey, nimebeba. No, sijabeba, but nimebeba. That ode to Gengetone, Nyanchama anasema, and then just realized I haven't killed you with my songs from MWE. Not yet. You can do so once we discuss the MWE experience. Nyanchama, I agree. This rant deserves a live. The face card that never declines. Skia tu. So kwa our playlist tuko na 11 songs. I shall be sharing this one this coming week as well as our last week. Once Babu ameongeza nyimbo zake kwa last week, we shall do so. Or we can take 2 from this list tuweke huko and then 2 tuweke hapa. Babu, decision is yours. Vile utafeel. If you have other songs for last week ni sawa. Actually, you can leave this one for this week. Anyway. Man in the mirror. Let us finish with a reading. Kuna mtu watatu hapa ameamua tu tusikie. Wambo, did you come back? Ama ni mtu mwingine? So, this is from my current read titled The White Teeth. Their final evening in the village was absolutely dark, silent. The muggy air made it unpleasant to smoke, so Archie and Samad tapped their fingers on the cold stone steps of a church for lack of other hand employment. For a moment in the twilight, Archie forgot the world that had actually ceased to exist anyway. A past tense, future perfect kind of a past tense, future perfect kind of night. It was while they were still innocent of peace during this last night of ignorance that Samad decided to cement his friendship with Archie. Often this is done by passing on a singular piece of information, some sexual peccadillo, some emotional secret or obscure hidden passion that the reticence of new acquaintance has prevented being spoken. But for Samad, nothing was closer or meant more to him than his blood. It was natural, then, as they sat on holy ground, that he should speak of what was holy to him. And there was no stronger evocation of the blood that ran through him and the ground which that blood had stained over the centuries than the story of his great grandfather. So Samad told Archie the much neglected, 100-year-old mildewed yarn of Mangal Pandey. So he was your grandfather, said Archie. After the tale had been told, the moon had passed behind clouds, and he had been suitably impressed. Your real, bland grandfather? Great grandfather. Well, that is something. Do you know, I remember it from school. I do. History of the colonies. Mr. Juggs, bald, bug-eyed, nasty old duffer. Mr. Juggs, I mean, not your grandfather. Got the message through. Got the message through though, even if it took a ruler to the back of your hand. You still hear people in the regiments calling each other pandis. If the bloke's a bit of a rebel, I never thought where it came from. Pandey was the rebel, didn't like the English, shot the first bullet of the mutiny. I remember it now, clear as a bell. And that was your grandfather? Great grandfather. Well, that's something, isn't it? Said Archie, placing his hands behind his head and lying back to look at the stars. To have a bit of history in your blood like that motivates you, I'd imagine. I am a Jones, you see. Like a Smith. We are nobody. My father used to say, we are the chaff, boy, we are the chaff. Not that I've ever been much bothered, mind. Proud all the same. Good, honest English stock. But in your family, you had a hero. Samad puffed up with pride. Yes, Archibald, that is exactly the word. Naturally, you will get these petty English academics trying to discredit him because they cannot bear to give an Indian his due. But he was a hero, and every act I have undertaken in this war has been in the shadow of his example. That's true, said Archie thoughtfully. They don't speak well about Indians back home. They certainly wouldn't like it if you said an Indian was a hero. Everybody will look at you a bit funny. Suddenly, Samad grabbed his hand. It was hot, almost fevered, Archie thought. He'd never had another man grab his hand. His first instinct was to move or punch him or something, but then he reconsidered because Indians were emotional, weren't they? All that spicy food and that. Please, do me this one great favor, Jones. If you ever hear anyone when you're back home, if we get back to our respective homes. If ever you hear anyone speak of the East, and here his voice plummeted a register, and the tone was full and sad, hold your judgment. If you are told they are all this, or they do this, or their opinions are this, withhold your judgment until all the facts are upon you. Because that land they call India goes by 1,000 names and is populated by millions. And if you think you have found two men the same amongst that multitude, then you are mistaken. It is merely a trick of the moonlight. Samad released his hand and rummaged in his pocket, dabbing his finger into a repository of white dust he kept in there, slipping it discreetly into his mouth. He leaned against the wall and drew his fingertips along the stone. It was a tiny missionary church, converted into a hospital and then abandoned after 2 months when the sound of shells began to shake the windowsills. Samad and Archie had taken to sleeping there because of the thin mattresses and the large, airy windows. Samad had taken an interest too, due to loneliness, he told himself, due to melancholy, in the powdered morphine to be found in the stray storage cabinets through the building. Hidden eggs on an addictive Hidden eggs on an addictive Easter trail. Whenever Archie went to piss or to try the radio once more, Samad roved up and down his little church, looting cabinet after cabinet, like a sinner moving from confessional to confessional. Then, having found his little bottle of sin, he would take the opportunity to rub a little into his gums or smoke a little in his pipe, and then lay back on the cool terracotta floor, looking up into the exquisite curve of the church dome. It was covered in words, this church, words left 300 years earlier by dissenters unwilling to pay a burial tax during a cholera epidemic, locked in the church by a corrupt landlord and left to die in there, but not before they covered every wall with letters to family, poems, statements of eternal disobedience. Samad liked the story well enough when he first heard it, but it only truly struck him when the morphine hit. Then every nerve in his body would be alive, and all the information contained in the universe, all the information on walls would pop its cork and flow through him, like electricity through a ground wire. Then his head would open out like a deck chair, and he would sit in it a while and watch his world go by. Tonight, after just more than enough, Samad felt particularly lucid, like his tongue was buttered and like the world was a polished marble egg. And he felt a kinship with the dead dissenters. They were Pandey's brothers. Every rebel, it seemed to Samad tonight, was his brother. He wished he could speak with them about the mark they made on the world. Had it been enough? When death came, was it really enough? Were they satisfied with the 1,000 words they left behind? I'll tell you something, for nothing, said Archie, following Samad's eyes and catching the church dome's reflection in them. If I'd only had a few hours left, I wouldn't have spent it painting pictures on the ceiling. Tell me, inquired Samad, irritated to have been dragged from his pleasant contemplation. What great challenge would you undertake in the hours before your death? Unravel Fermat's theorem, perhaps? Master Aristotelian philosophy? What? Who? No. I'd make love to a lady, said Archie, whose inexperience made him prudish. For the last time. Samad broke into a laugh. For the first time is more likely. Oh, go on, I'm serious. All right. And if there were no ladies in the vicinity, well, you can always. And here, Archie went into a pillar box read, this being his own version of cementing a friendship. Slap the salami, as the GIs say. Slap, repeated Samad contemptuously. The salami? And that is it, is it? The last thing you would wish to do before you shuffled off this mortal coil is slap your salami, achieve orgasm. Archie, who came from Brighton, where nobody ever said words like orgasm, began to convulse with hysterical embarrassment. Who is funny? Something is funny? Asked Samad, lighting a fag distractedly despite the heat, his mind carried elsewhere by the morphine. Nobody, began Archie hail- haltingly. Nothing. Can't you see it, Jones? Can't you see? Samad lay half in, half out of the doorway, his arms stretched up to the ceiling. The intention? They weren't slapping their salamis, spreading the white stuff. They were looking for something a little more permanent. I can't see the difference, frankly, said Archie. When you're dead, you're dead. Oh no, Archibald, no, whispered Samad, melancholic. You don't believe that. You must live life with the full knowledge that your actions will remain. We are creatures of consequence, Archibald, he said, gesturing to the church walls. They knew it. My great grandfather knew it. Someday our children will know it. Our children, sniggered Archie, simply amused. The possibility of offspring seemed so distant. Our children will be born of our actions. Our accidents will become their destinies. Oh, the actions will remain. It is a simple matter of what you will do when the chips are down, my friend, when the fat lady is singing, when the walls are falling in and the sky is dark and the ground is rumbling. In that moment, our actions will define us. And it makes no difference whether you are being watched by Allah, Jesus, Buddha, or whether you are not. On cold days, a man can see his breath. On a hot day, he can't. On both occasions, the man breathes. Do you know, said Archie after a pause, just before I left, from Felixstowe, I saw this new drill they have now, which breaks in two and you can put different things on the end. Spanner, hammer, even a bottle opener. Very useful in a tight spot, I'd imagine. I tell you, I'd bloody love one of those. Samad looked at Archie for a moment and then shook his head. Come on, let's get inside. This Bulgarian food turns my stomach over. I need a bit of sleep. You look pale, said Archie, helping him up. It's for my sins, Jones. For my sins, and yet I am more sinned against than sinning. Samad giggled to himself. You what? Archie bore the weight of Samad on one side as they walked inside. I have eaten something, said Samad, putting on a cut glass English accent that is about to disagree with me. Archie knew very well that Samad sneaked morphine from the cabinets, but he could see Samad wanted him not to know. So, let's get you into bed, was all he said, bringing Samad over to a mattress. When this is over, we'll meet again in England, okay? Said Samad, lunging towards his mattress. Yes, said Archie, trying to imagine walking along Brighton Pier with Samad. Because you are a rare Englishman, Sapper Jones, I consider you my friend. Archie was not sure whether Archie was not sure what he considered Samad, but he smiled gently in recognition of the sentiment. You will have dinner with my wife and I in the year 1975, when we are big bellied men sitting on our money mountains. Somehow we will meet. Archie, dubious of foreign food, smiled weakly. We will know each other throughout our lives. Archie laid Samad down, got himself a mattress, and maneuvered himself into a position for sleep. Good night, friend, said Samad, pure contentment in his voice. I will break convention and also say good night, friends. Nyanchama, kuna nini? Babu, uko nasi bado? Naam, Babu amesema thank you, ameconfirm. I think alikuwa na type before hata niulize ama as nilikuwa nauliza. Nyanchama akasema this was something. Kwa hivyo, bonvi friends. Thank you for reading to us, African. You're welcome, Nyanchama, and thank you for the sentiment and thank you for loving this segment. Lala Fiti, I am not sure if I am sleeping. I might nap. Juu niko na an early morning. So I just might nap kidogo. Thank you, Nyanchama. Thank you, Babu. Thank you, Wambo. Tuonane wiki ijayo. Oh, I had seen a comment from Babu here akisema something kuhusu. Alisema I have a ticket for you for the 18th. Naya, Babu unaweza tupa the link. Oh, the tickets ziko on MOOC actually. So if I can get it naweza iongeza kwa description. Babu, if you want to comment with the link, you can comment kwa the video once share. But I think I can add that actually kwa the comments as well. Kuna show ya kina Babu on the 18th. Slim akona show on the 24th. Goofy akona show on the 24th. Kuna shows kadhaa. Tickets ziko on MOOC, so let me see if I can get that and put it kwa the description or kwa comment section. Asante sana. Bonwi.